So, today our topic is wheels make progress. It would not be true to say that the wheel was known to all the civilizations of the past. When the Spaniards overthrew the Aztecs of South and Central America, they found no indication that the Aztecs had learned to use the wheel. But, generally speaking, the wheel has played its part in the most of the civilizations which have flourished and died away. Since the time of the ancient Egyptians and Assyrians, what was it that gave man the idea of using the wheel for transport purposes? Maybe he arrived at the axle and wheels as a development of the tree trunk used as a roller to ease the movement of heavy loads. As the center of the trunk was worn away, two smooth discs would be left. These might then have been sawn off and attached with wooden pins to a new crossbar. Later, it may have occurred to someone that wheels like the wooden cheese in the illustration could be lightened by hollowing out the center, leaving 4 or 5 rough spokes. Certainly, spoked wheels began to come into the use with the discovery of metals. The next step was perhaps to make a floor and set it over the axle. But this type of simple framework could have had very little stability. It would have tipped like a seesaw. Something was needed to steady it. And the obvious way of doing this was to add another axle with a second pair of wheels. Nobody knows if this was in fact the pattern of man's progress in developing the wheel, but one thing we do know is the carts with wheels were being used in Asia Minor at least 5,000 years ago. While in other parts of the world the idea of the wheel had not yet been born. Modern wheels. Let us see how the wheel has come to be used by us in modern times. Modern wheels are usually made of metal. They are constructed around a hub whose purpose is to hold the spokes which radiate from the center to the outer rim. Though sometimes made in segments, the rim is normally a single piece which may be shored with a circular tire to give solidity to the whole. Wooden wheels are still widely used in countries where primitive horse-drawn carts and carriages are used. Even in highly developed countries, we still find wooden wheels being used in the wheelbarrow and the royal state coach. The wheels of railway locomotives are made in many types and sizes, depending on the job they have to do. Large wheels, of which there may be as many as 16, support and carry the engine. Smaller bogie wheels guide it. Iron wheels may look as if they had been cast in a single piece, but this rarely so, as it would make for great difficulty in changing rims. Usually the hub and central parts are in one piece, consisting of a disc wheel or spoked wheel to which the outer rim is attached. Locomotive wheels are commonly built with spokes so that the rim can easily be changed when worn out. This also makes it easier to get at the engine by reaching between the spokes. They are almost invariably made of cast metal. Bicycle and motorcycle wheels, front and rear, are held in place by a fork, which forms part of the machine's framework. They are secured by ordinary nuts or sometimes by wing nuts, which can be screwed on and off by hand. Beneath the outer and inner tires, the groove of the rim is pierced by small holes, which take the spoke heads. In a bicycle, the spokes radiate at the tangent to the hub, but in motorcycle they are often crossed at the center to give greater strength. When cars were first manufactured, wood was used for the spokes, though the hub and outer rim were made of metal. Car wheels are now made from metal stampings welded either to the shape of a disc or to resemble a spoked wheel. The latter, with its spokes radiating at a tangent from the hub, it is used only for cars. The wheels of heavy trucks and lorries are made of steel or cast steel sheeting. Aircraft wheels are also manufactured in this way. The wheels on modern vehicles are fitted in such a way that they are detachable. Wheel marks throughout history. At first, the wheeled cart or carriage was used almost exclusively for warlike purposes. The Greeks used it for religious and military functions, and it was only later adapted for industrial and agricultural use. The greatest stimulus to the practical use of the wheel came from the restlessness of nomad tribes, in particular the Celts, who used a primitive type of wagon or hauling their goods and chattels. It has been suggested that the Latin carus comes from an earlier Celtic word for cart. Necessity was the mother of this invention, and nomadic peoples like the Phrygians and the Scythians were among the first to build carts with 4 and perhaps 6 wheels. Meanwhile, the ancient world was using only the two-wheeled vehicles already known to the Greeks and Egyptians. Chariots for racing in the arena, the two-horse biga, and the triga and quadriga. Here, triga stands for three-wheeled cart and quadriga stands for four-wheeled cart. So, biga, triga, and quadriga were Roman racing chariots. The names refer to the number of horses drawing the vehicles. First with 3 and the second with 4 horses. These crucials were mainly for officials and army officers. Later in the history of Rome, all kinds of conveniences were built for the transport of judges, magistrates, women, and invalids. The Sisium, Pilentum, Arcera, and Bena, which we might describe as buggies, rickshaws, litters, and tumbrils. The Latin vehiculum, familiar to our language, was reserved for more splendid coaches intended for important persons. Another magnificent equipage was the carpentum, which has given us the word carpenter. Carpentier in modern Italian still means a maker of carriage wheels. So extravagant did this vehicle become in the days of Rome's greatness that laws were necessary to limit its use to special occasions. The power of the Roman Empire depended on military supremacy, and the success of the legions was promoted by the quality of their armor. Bodhicisa's chariot could not have had much of a chance against armored vehicles, bristling with the cistes like the one in our illustrations. Nor did primitive communities have the skill or means to build the mobile crossbow. Also shown on these pages, it could be adapted to hurl larger missiles as well as arrows to greater distance than any previous weapons.